Hello, and welcome to a Wargame Red Dragon cast with me, Rangru. Today we have a replay from the 4th Wargame Bootcamp Discord Rookie, and that's with an R, tournament, essentially a tournament for newer players to the game to get acquainted with it. Today, on the left hand side in the blue, we have Wafuu, with a W, that is, playing as Blue Dragons. And on the right hand side in the red, we have a Michael J. Caboose playing as an Entente. And as we're seeing, both, well, especially with Caboose getting a little bit slow to the start here, bringing in some infantry, and I do like he's using the smoke play on Bravo. I guess he's going to try and rush and get into the opposite side of Charlie. Raptor isn't really bringing too much here, just some infantry capturing the Charlie CV point. I don't think, does Caboose have any CVs? It does not seem to be the case, so he's going to be getting that +2 bleed right now, which is definitely going to be not beneficial. That's not a good bleed to have. It's definitely a good idea on this map to always get that +2 sector in your home spawn. We've got Heratu racing in, trying to get some hits on the Hachi Nanashiki, but the Hachi Nanashiki does not mess about with its 25mm gun. And Caboose's push is definitely committing a lot to its Charlie sector. A lot of infantry, M84s, some anti-air, and including the M84 stealth reconnaissance tank. Suppressor included. And the smoke for the most part is working, but the Kairu Marushiki is in a pretty good position, as well as friendly mortar to help out here. Actually dropping in smoke on the Kairu, so it doesn't get ATGM'd. It's definitely a good call, as those BVPs are in a decent position, but they don't have the best AP firepower, so they're not too scary. But when you don't know the ATGM at you, it's better safe than sorry. But the Entente infantry are not having a good day here. The Sochong's holding quite well with the help of fire support. Kairu taking some hits at long range. Should be able to tank those ATGMs if they do actually hit. The M84s, they are actually putting quite a bit of firepower down. It's definitely going to be a good call backing out. F4 dropping in some bombs. Getting some decent hits overall. No kills, but still on those M84s for now. And on the southern side of this sector, we do see more infantry being brought in. This is a lot less heavily defended. There's no heavy tanks nearby. It's really just the Hachi and the Sochongs, but the Sochongs aren't getting pinned down. Hachi is doing its best, but I feel like he's going to run out of ammo before all of these guys die. Northern side is pretty quiet. Both sides not really committing a whole lot, especially Caboose with only a single recon BMP2. Wonder if Wafuu will realise this and start moving up. That's exactly what he is doing with his Hudo Renge. I call, yeah, the shock Japanese infantry there. Pretty well, pretty decently equipped. Yeah, Caboose is just slowly grinding down his southern side here. He has taken some pretty heavy casualties, and he doesn't have much in terms of anti-tank firepower here anymore. His M60 is almost out of recoilless, or his single M60 is almost out of recoilless rifle ammunition, which is not ideal, but we have more reinforcements being brought in and LAV-25s, which should definitely help out. We do see M84s moving up to give fire support, but a little bit too close, risking getting shot by some rockets. Only laws, which aren't entirely that scary for a tanker. Yeah, northern side is starting to get aggressed on here by Wafuu, getting into a very important little village complex. And the BMP is slowly getting sniped by a Willis rifle, I believe. It does have a pretty good range, I forgot about it, at 1.4 kilometers. That is some pretty nasty stuff. Down goes the BMP, and this is going to be a sector under Wafuu's control. I can actually say it with a W and not an R. It's very difficult for me, you must understand. Yeah, it's not looking too great for Caboose, really. His southern push has I mean, he has Bravo under control at least, but getting that rather lucrative Charlie position is just not going to happen right now. He's moving up more infantry to try and push onto the point. And the Kairu Marishiki, I believe, is dead. I did not catch it, unfortunately. I've not seen it anywhere, so... At least if he does move through his northern sector here, he doesn't have much of firepower he has to worry about being shot at from his center of the map. But he does have to worry about his F4s dropping in a big load. Would not want to be those tanks right now. No, it does get one kill and almost kills the other, only on a single point of HP. That M84A would definitely be a good idea for him to bugger out of here. That's exactly what he is doing. Yeah, Wafuu just has a good defense. He has a lot of infantry. The LAVs provide some good close-range fire support. And if you can just keep the fight between Charlie and Bravo here, because you essentially have this short strip of no man's land where you have to cross the road, you can pretty much deny any easy pushes. If Caboose can get into that forest with a good amount of infantry, then things will start looking a bit difficult. We are seeing a K1 being brought in. Definitely helpful having some tank firepower. I actually seen some smoke being dropped onto Goth here. Maybe Caboose is going to try and re-gear to try and hit the southern end of Goth. That would not be a bad idea. Doesn't really have anything to do it. Or maybe it's more defensive. He just doesn't want to get ATGM'd from his forest once he pushes down through Charlie. It seems to be more of the case is what he's doing here. Wafoo's pretty well defended here. He's redirecting his forces to try and defend the northern end of Charlie. Peace Pheasant coming in. Not getting any snipes. Nope. Nope. Really get out, we have the Never. And the Never does miss. Which never happens. There you go, he's just got the firepower push here from Caboose. He still has 2 M84s. Oh, he has an extra M84, the other one on 1 HP is deciding to stay into the fight. Hopefully no one looks at him funny or he will die. The K1 being brought in, but he's a little bit outgunned. Oh, not that outgunned it seems. And to knock out the damage M84. Got some M80s flanking about. I mean, the on-taunt infantry is pretty scary stuff. The Yugoslav, just like standard infantry, are not bad, and of course they have, you know, pretty power creepy IFVs and APCs. Let's be real here, those M60s and M80s are definitely worth the points. Especially the M60s, it's still, the amount of machine guns and recoilless rifles they get is pretty ridiculous. But such is the issue of 5-point increments for your units. Yeah, Caboose has pretty much cleared out most of the northern end of Charlie here. We are seeing more reinforcements being brought in. Got some Haibung 90s, which are also pretty good infantry. Those Panzerfaust 3 should be enough to knock out any of that armor. 1 or 2 shots. We'll just have to see how it go. There we go, M84 goes down. We got the Mechanovas. Yeah, it's really just this blob of angry Koreans which is stopping Caboose from really pushing up here right now. Peace Pheasant comes in, gets a snipe, but it also gets sniped by the Never, that is. Haibungs are holding, only down to 2 squads. Right, I mean, there are only 2 squads, it's 15 man, I do forget. Down to only 19 guys is a bit more accurate in this scenario. He's a little bit outgunned, there's a lot of, well, Yugoslav infantry here. They just have enough firepower. Actually sneaking the M84 into the other side of the forest, a very good play. If he can potentially shoot any reinforcements. Not so much in the southern road, but up north at least. And this is going to really force Wafuu. I think he's going to be falling back a bit into Charlie and setting up a defensive perimeter in the town. But still actually pushing a little bit into the southern side, but as you can see the M84s are getting some pretty good snipes, knocking out 2 infantry. Well, almost 2 infantry squads, yeah. There's 2 guys left alive, but they're probably not that happy about their current predicament. You just have a whole squad of regular troops here. Thrown into the meat grinder. But if Caboose can just hold onto his position in Charlie, he should do pretty well, all things considering. Because if you, heck, just holding on to this little forest, pull up a CV down, you neutralize a +2 sector for the enemy. You don't even really have to capture it to make a big impact here. I do love seeing this good old hind being brought in, but as anti-air, as a cry a bit of anti-air, it wasn't meant to be. I just like seeing helicopters. Uzi still has, you know, barely holding onto that forest with a single infantry squad and an M84. But Wafuu is pushing pretty hard now with a bunch of infantry to counter back. I'm seeing a CV being brought onto Foxtrot in response to Alpha being captured here from Caboose. Caboose does have quite a lot of points he needs to catch up to, over 100 to be exact. So maybe this will be the time where I start seeing both sides just investing into CVs, try and capture the points. Now Wafuu is going to control the forest, the M84 smartly ducking out of here for now. Never mind, AH-1T has other plans for that tank. That's going to pretty much be evening things up now as Foxtrot is going to get secured. And we're seeing a wave of reinforcements as Caboose is trying to get back into that Charlie forest. Well, getting into the Bravo forest at least for now. Wonder if he's going to try and push through. But that Cobra in a lovely position to get some snipes here. And there's no anti-air really. Or there's an anti-air nearby. It's just not in a good position to actually shoot. Not good when your anti-air can't shoot. You want them to be shooting at the aircraft. Sides is getting defensive positions now. Wafuu does have pretty good control over Golf at least, but it is that stealth M80 there. Just slapping away. Ram even coming in to help out. Yeah, both sides is investing, setting up defenses. We're getting into the quieter part of this match now. But there's still 25 minutes left. Caboose, he still has a lot of time to make a push. I mean, Wafuu does have a, well, at the same time for Wafuu, he does have pretty good points gap where he can really just focus about holding. He has a good control over Golf. Charlie has a lot of infantry here right now. I feel like Caboose is going to make another push into Charlie sometime in the near future. That Cobra really needs to die. He's in a pretty exposed position. But he is not getting punished for it. Even bringing up a second one as well to help out. You see Pram dropping in some smoke here as Caboose is rushing in some recon infantry. Good old Czech 10-man sniper team. But he's going to be... Or he can kill a Chumat at least, which would be a good kill, knocking out ATGM. But it's the crybaby infantry and APCs. APCs with grenade launchers, which are not ideal to be going up against. I've seen some fire support being dropped in. I believe that is an napalm bomber, as well as an interceptor, just to keep him covered. Dropping it on the APCs, not really doing all that much though. A bit anticlimactic. We've seen F-16 being brought in. Almost gets killed there, only on 1 HP. Very lucky he did manage to avoid, well, getting shot down. A little bit of skirmishing on the southern side. But it's just a deadlock between, well, no man's land essentially. It's Always a very hard area to push here. I mean, this map is pretty hard to push in general. I mean, pushing in Gulf can be difficult unless you have good long-range ATGMs and heavy tanks. From micro-aim effectively, use the smoke to cover you. There's always a very good reason why you usually see a lot of the action happen down here. It is rather luxurious to try and push into heavy cover. Seeing a lot of smoke here once again. One thing I always love about each Wargame cast compared to the Steel Division cast is, by God, people in this game know how to use smoke. It is beautiful. Seeing a lot of rocket artillery, just getting some stunning hits, nothing much. And with the smoke fully covered, Caboose is going to be pushing. I do love how he did prepare that push with the smoke. But the smoke isn't going to stop you from being shot at from a flying Cobra. They did manage to get in. There is a decent amount of Korean troops here. We've got 2K runs, a lot of infantry, automatic grenade launcher APCs. And Caboose doesn't have a lot of like anti-tank firepower. It's really just these Mechanovas and Proletaries. And they're not all that good when there's a bunch of vehicles in the array. The rocket artillery, I see what he's doing, getting some stunning hits, but probably could have timed it a little bit better. As you see, he's just getting completely pinned down. Oh, not pinned down, but it's taking lots of shots from crossing that field. Yeah, Wafuu with a W. That's just a very good defensive position on Charlie. But it is still pretty even Stevens. Neither side wanting to get a CV onto the middle objectives. They're both just investing in frontline firepower. I feel like, yeah, Caboose is actually going to be retooling to gear to attack the northern side, which is definitely a good call. If you can do the same thing with the smoke and not move your mortar APC to get ATGM'd, you know, he could make a decent push here. You smoke his road again, hook around northern side. Not a whole lot of firepower here. An anti-aircraft piece and a automatic grenade launcher. Nothing too scary. You can definitely survive that push if you use APCs. And just try to clear out what's left in here, which isn't a whole lot. It's a decent amount of infantry, but I feel like a good concentrated push could kick them out. You've actually seen Wafuu push into Bravo now a little bit. He has to some of his Korean troops. Leaving out the regulars once again. It's so rare to see bloody blue dragons in this game. Most people are, you know, like playing Common Rail for Eurocorps or Israel. The Blue Dragons is a pretty, you know, fun deck build. You got a decent amount of American equipment. You got some, you know, odder Asian stuff. Especially some of the Japanese units are a bit weird. But unfortunately, you know, there's no anime girls painted on the side of the helicopters unless you install a mod. Seen more rocket artillery being brought in, but it's a very good push from Wafuu. He's getting... I mean, he pretty much controls Bravo. There's not much here to stop him. If he can get a CV on Bravo, I mean, I feel like he's gonna win this. There's only 16 minutes left. Caboose needs to catch up to 100 points. He needs to get a CV onto somewhere really right now if he wants a good chance. He does have a push being brought in. I think he's going to try and go for the northern side. He really needs to make something happen. Yeah, pardon me, because yeah, Wafuu is pushing in pretty hard down south. He has the K-runs in the forest. A bunch of infantry now. And Caboose, okay, he is bringing them down south to try and catch Bravo. Which is also a good call. He needs to try and sully his push. As there's a lot of angry Asians here. Coaching's in a great position to use the last of their laws to knock out an APC. He has managed to really dig his claws into Bravo. Been using that ninja pretty efficiently to knock out enemy helicopters. The hinds and hips are not having a good day in the sky. Caboose is moving up some infantry onto the ridgeline here. I really want to see Wafuu get a CV somewhere. I mean, he doesn't need to. He does have a pretty good points lead still. But I'd really just seal the deal if he... Yeah, there we go. He's got a CV being brought into Goth. I think that's pretty much going to seal the deal, yeah. Because Goth can't be neutralized, as Wafuu has that completely under control. Bravo could be an even Stevens if both sides got a CV on their retrospective sides of Bravo, but even then... Wafuu's going to be getting that nice +1. That's going to force Caboose to really buy CV into Bravo if he doesn't want to have such a huge point bleed now, which is going to stop him getting actual frontline reinforcement units. Unless he can get a CV sniper with the rockets, but that's not going to happen. This is an APC, I believe. It is. So, you know, those Plamons are good for stressing, but not that great for killing, especially when the unit is armoured. They are pretty cheap if I recall. Yeah, 90 points. It's not bad. Rocket artillery piece. Caboose really needs to just make a post down Bravo and at least try to neutralize it. Just to try and even things up. We've seen another rocket barrage. Not doing any damage to the CV at all. His time is not on his side. There's only 11 minutes left. Really not looking good for him, and he's not making any plays currently. And there we go, Wafuu really wants to seal the deal, getting a CV onto Bravo. But Caboose is investing more into some heavier tanks. And this is just not looking good. I don't really know what to say at this point. He has a bunch of units bunched up, but he's not making anything happen. Maybe if these tanks being brought in, he's going to try something. I've seen, once again, just trying to CV snipe. Not going to be working out for him. There we go, we finally are seeing the push here. The horde of Yugoslavians. Wafuu just has a very good defensive line. The 2K1s, grenade launchers, like 4K1s, never mind. The horde of infantry. The Yugoslavs just don't have what it takes. And moving those T-72s and even the M91s are going to be pretty dangerous with the 4K1s in there. Have his +2 point lead, it's pretty much a good game. But Caboose is going to stick it out, yo. I feel like we have this recon squad up here. Guess he's trying to do some maybe sneaky maneuvers around the flank here. This is always a pretty good map for doing that, as you have so much space on the flanks. You can just fly something around, drop him off here. And just try to, you know, get a good line of sight on the enemy reinforcements. But sometimes it's not all about sniping enemy CV at home base, but just seeing what they're bringing in, having like a minute heads up on what units they're buying, especially anti-aircraft units, as you can judge wherever you want. Actually bring an aircraft or not. If you've seen invest in a bunch of AA, maybe get some more tanks, as they probably aren't going to have that much in terms of heavy frontline firepower. There we go, the recon unit is going to be moving around. But yeah, I've only 3 minutes left. He can't really do too much. But you might as well. 3 minutes left. I've seen a bunch of smoke being dropped onto Gove. Seen one final hurrah charge here. But not, yeah, I guess a decent amount on there, but JSDF Rangers. Perfect ambush position. They are going to go down, but that was worthwhile. This a shame we didn't see a push like this earlier. This is always the case. There's just too much firepower here. 2 Kairomaru Shikis. Infantry hold up in the village. He did manage to get a foothold into the village at least, but I don't... Yeah, he's going to be able to hold on to it for the last few seconds at least. Yeah, Wafuu, with a W, has just managed to hold on really well. He grinded down that early advance from Caboose and Charlie. Then he just snuck into Gulf, quietly captured it with relative ease, and just held. That's all he needed to do. He had a very good point. And really, it was also just shooting up points lead he had very early on with Caboose not buying that CV to immediately capture that +2 sector. That definitely hurt him quite a bit, because with so much investment in the frontline units, he didn't manage to make that push into Charlie sector, where if he could at least neutralize that, that's a huge bonus to have. It's pretty big. But the gambit did not play off for Mr. Caboose. And yeah, I feel like that's pretty much all I have to say for this cast. So thank you very much for watching. I plan on doing some more of these Wargame casts over the next few weeks, and go over some more of these replays from the Rookie tournament. Rookie with a R, yeah it is. And, well, this has been another Rangru cast. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and as usual, please just take it easy.